Right, guys, the time has come to crack on with the engine for the Harley restoration. So everything is at the powder coaters for the frame and everything to get it rolling again. We're pretty much there, apart from obviously putting it back together. We're going to collect that next week, and when we collect that, we're going to drop off all of the bits off of this engine to be vapor blasted and coated, so it's all nice and it matches the gearbox. So today we're going to strip the engine down. This is a 1340 Harley Davidson Evo engine. If you know your Harleys, then my bike originally left the factory with a shovel head engine. This is a later 90s 1340 Evo engine, which somebody has retrospectively fitted. This engine is from the early 90s. I can't remember the model, although I do know, so I'll flash it on the screen now. So let's get it stripped down, shall we, guys, and get everything off to be recoated and make ourselves a little shopping list that we need for the engine. I'm Dino, Patches Repair Shop. Don't forget to smash subscribe, hit like, comment, all of that good stuff. Let's get it stripped down, shall we? Uh-oh. This one feels like it's going to snap, guys. And they've definitely been off before. It is really tight. Oh, we're going to have a look and see what's going on in there, because that was tight the whole way out. The thread doesn't look too bad, and there's something at the bottom. Okay, we'll wait till it's all the way out. These Allen key bolts look like they're going to be fun. They're a bit hidden. Oh, that one's loose. Right, the two at the back have got, see there's a cutout. I don't think that, well, the end snapped off of that one, but they've just got a slot instead of a hole. I wonder if that's meant to be like that. And then this side has got an O-ring inside of there, otherwise you would struggle to get that out of that V. Now we can undo this one. It's marked front and it's got an O-ring, so the inlet manifold just pushes into there, enabling you to get it out. I'm assuming that's all right. If you guys have done one of these before, because I haven't, please let me know. Right, so that doesn't look too bad, guys. Got two O-rings here that sit where the dowels go through. It's got obviously only two valves, inlet and exhaust. They're both huge valves. Nothing looks too bad though. Would be nice to know what's going on down inside that hole where that bolt was really tight. So maybe we just run a tap through there, see what's going on. It's marked front, so we can't get it wrong when we go back together. Right, so the top of the barrel, the gasket looks particularly manky, but it's all there. You probably can't see it. There's some nice hatching marks on the barrel. At the moment, nothing looks too bad, which is good. To be fair, I didn't expect it to. Right, should we pop that right off? Right, apart from these barrel studs, head studs, whatever you want to call them, that someone has clearly had a set of grips on to wind in, nothing looks too bad. The rings all look good. The piston looks good. to be fair, a standard piston and ring set is not the end of the world. So that was going to be on the list. Arrow pointing forward. And there's the barrel, guys. So gaskets disintegrated around the bottom, but we've got no broken fins. When you're taking these off, you know I used a light rubber mallet, but don't go levering, don't go hammering against the fins. You'll break them. And then it will be TIG welder and a file if you can't find one to make it look right again. Yeah. Right. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to get this top end and barrel apart in exactly the same way I've done this one. And then I'll bring you back in for the exciting bit, which is the bottom end. Just quickly bring you back in to show you this. I'm just taking this side apart, as I said I would. Everything's come undone just like the other side. I went to undo this one and it was finger tight. Didn't even get to get the ratchet on it, and it snapped with some funny markings at the top. So there's a bolt stuck in the top end when we get that off. So that's something we'll have to deal with now. All right, so that's the other side off, guys. And apart from the broken bolt, which we've now got to extract, it's pretty straightforward. Same as the other side. Now it's got to get the gudgeon pins out. And we'll whip the pistons off. So there's one out. Nothing too nasty on there. Standard 4 stamped in the top. We'll have to do some research. Right, something I don't often say, guys. On the top of these posts here, where the push rod tubes go and the push rods, we've got an Imperial 12-sided socket that yours truly doesn't have. I've got lots of metric ones. They don't fit at all. So I'm going to see if I can buy new ones before I go and stick a pair of grips on them to crack them off, which I know is not the way forward, guys, but I want to get this stuff off, and for the sake of 8 bolts, we can get some new ones. So these have got the lifters in, like that. There's the little rascals there. I know my spanners are also 12-sided, but I didn't have an Imperial one to fit in a spanner either. So, yeah, you saw how I do it. I used a little extractor, and I'll have to order some new ones. Not the end of the world. There we go. There we go. So there's a little washer that came off of there. So you've got the camshaft onto the lifters, which go onto the push rods, and we've got the ignition at the front. Good, that's not the end of the world. Those are at the back against there. That's probably more for me than you when it goes back together. All right, the drive goes all the way through there into the oil pump, and there's a little clip on the oil pump. Not a circlip, which is a pain. So that little clip there on the front of the oil pump. Let me take these gears out. There we go. And then we've got tiny, tiny, tiny little wood rough key that is for that oil pump gear that goes onto this shaft here. Right, where's all my oil pump bits? Here. Right, while we're here, let's whiz some of these unions out. This is crankcase breather. This is one of the oil pipes. I can't remember which one. But as you know, we've been converting it to sort of bolted black anodized AN fixing with braided pipe. So we've been here before. And then this one has never been connected to anything. It used to have a gigantic piece of rubber hose shoved on it. So I welded the end up to get rid of that hose. Probably something to do with the original bike that this engine came out of. So maybe now we're here, we can find a nice grub screw to blank that off or something so that we don't have this hanging around. I will replace the stator when it goes back in, because it's a primary drive and everything back off if we don't, and I'd rather not. Now this little white plastic bit here, I replaced this. Some advice somebody gave me, mine was missing, and when I was trying to sort out the oil leak, somebody said that these holes are actually blind holes, so oil ends up running out into this part of the case and then obviously onto the floor eventually. How true that is, I don't know. If you know, again guys, pop it in the comments. There we go. There she is. Right, probably feels like we've jumped ahead. Undone the crankcase bolts, you saw me do that. The right hand side just lifts off. Happy days. There was a little oil pump drive gear that goes through that way that you have to undo for this side and lift out to enable it to lift off. Once I've done that, this side lifted off. I've given it a very quick wash, knocked the studs out, which are here. Easy. That can go off. There's one needle roller bearing for me to knock out in there. That can go off, be cleaned, vapor blasted, whatever they need to do, and then re-coated in the same texture, in the same black, like they've done the gearbox casings for us. This side, the left-hand side of the engine casing, you clever lot will notice that oh, that's heavy. The crankshaft is still in it because I need to put it in a bigger press, which I have access to, but it isn't here. So I need to put this in a bigger press and push it out of this bearing here to get this side off. So that's a little bit of a shame we can't do that today. There's always something. So that's the crankcases. In terms of the heads themselves, we've got one with a snapped bolt, not that one, this one. So what I need to do with the heads is dig out my valve spring compressor because I can't find it. I don't know where it is. It'll turn up. And I need to make sure that I've got some nice sharp drill bits and a proper extractor to get that out of there. And then probably make sure that I've got a helicoil kit or insert kit available at the same time in case it all goes wrong. And then these can go off and be blasted. Still some little rubbers in the bottom of the push rod tubes there. So I need to put a shopping list together. Pistons, rings, gaskets, yeah, O-rings, all that sort of stuff. What can go off to Andy now and be done is the inlet manifold. Can go off and be redone in black. The the buckets, the hydraulic buckets for the push rods and the stands that they sit in, or the mounts that they sit in, they can go off and be redone now. And I need to make a decision on the rocker covers or the cam covers, whatever you want to call them. They're really manky at the top and they are not going to be great underneath. So do I just go black on these top bits? I don't know. I can't. I either find new ones and buy them, or these go back into black. I think that, and I know because somebody's already told me that they are going to be bad underneath because they are renowned for it. So I don't know if you guys can see it. Look, it's got a bit of rust under there. So let me know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Next week, all the stuff should be back so that we can start getting on with getting the frame rolling again. And hopefully we'll be in a position to get the valves out, sort out that broken bolt, get the other side of the crankcase off. The barrels can hopefully be done. Maybe. I need to see. I need to get a couple of opinions on getting the barrels recoated, but nothing nasty inside. All looks lovely. It's got standard pistons in it by the looks of it. So yeah, standard .4. So whether they're, I don't know if they're 4 foul over or what that is. I'll do a little bit of research on that one. So it's an extremely messy job. I had oil everywhere, guys. My floor is not going to go rusty. So I've already bagged up all the little bolts and bits and bobs and springs and labelled them up and put them in a Harley Davidson box. So that bit is all done. So this lot can be covered up on the bench. The inner part of the oil pump drive, that can go off and be recoated now as well. So we've got a few bits to keep them busy, but not everything that we necessarily wanted to give them this week, but never mind. So anyway, I'm waffling. So that's it for this week, guys. I'm Dino. Thanks for watching. If you have made it this far, hit subscribe, hit like, drop us a comment, all of that good stuff. It really, really helps us out. I'll see you back next week when we start to get the frame built back up and rolling again. Cheers, guys.